Okay, so the article is Hotel Cadiz and it's written by Suzanne Roberts. The main point of this article is that sometimes people cannot help himself or herself from cheating uh, in marriage because of desire, strong desire and love for someone else. But then after the affair has passed, they only feel regret and shame for the situation they're in. So kind of teaches the moral lesson of do not get into an affair. We can see the example of this first in this first paragraph. We see it here as if renaming it could turn it into something else, and as if I didn't have a husband at home. It just gives like a strong introduction of as if I didn't have a husband at home. It just tells that this is an affair. And in the end, again, I felt only shame. This is like the sex scene that she had with the affair that she got into, and it uses lots of personal pronoun of I, and it kind of just puts the author into the position of the author to feel how she is feeling in this situation. Okay, the attitude that the author towards have the subject is cheerful and joyous and desirous at the start, and it kind of turns to regretful, perplexed, and being shameful towards the end. And that's just because like how the situation in the whole story changes, kind of follows like the flow from the main point of like how the main point changes from uh, like cheating an affair to being shameful of it. We see this here. Happy, laugh harder than I had in a month. Happy, what a feeling. I was a teenager again in a dorky but alive way. That's just how happy she is. And this part, our guy pointed out the rock formations, fanciful resemble of cave puros, asparagus, broomsticks, tortillas. These are rock formations, but then she named them into these all these fanciful just names. It's using a kind of metaphor, and it kind of presents like the happiness, the happy mood that the author is in when she is walking down the cave with David. And it became a desire, again, strong desire. Uh, to be alone with David excited me. It's really desirous, and desire as in kiss. We stole glances at each other and smiled. Stole glances at each other is a kind of act that gives a strong idea connotation of cheating, because like if they just stood next to each other and they looked at each other, then there wouldn't be anything like that's meaningful. But then if they stole glances at each other, it kind of gives this strong connotation of cheating. Yeah, a wedding ring. It shows how hesitant she is in this situation. And when David looked at the condom, she looked at down at the towel floor. This part it changed us just totally from like being cheerful to really shameful and regretful and kind of perplexed of the situation. We see here again. She took off the wedding ring. She put it on. She took it off again. And I think the interpretive lens I got aware of when I was reading it is that I think we all know that cheating is a really bad thing to do, but throughout reading this article, I kind of got to know how like sometimes it's not controllable to cheat because it's just like strong love that you feel for someone else that kind of like just makes you feel alive again from the boring life that you used to be living. And I kind of like mitigate the effect of this through the author's constant recitation of her husband, which just kind of shows how she's is struggling through the situation and she does not want to do it. We can see here she's remembering to the husband, and we can see here again remembering her husband. We see here again remembering her husband, and we see here again without a body full of desire, I felt only shame. So I just got the idea of how like she is really complex. She is really perplexed in the situation as well. And I think the context that I got to know that I didn't understand at first is here, which is these three songs. I didn't know what they are at the start, but then afterwards I got a quick research and I listened to these songs and I found like they were really really like cheerful love tunes that kind of has uh like they have a really cheerful melody. This is what we just learned, and the lyrics portray some sort of waiting besides this person that he or she loved, and then now they cannot hide the feeling anymore, and so they have to love the love out, and this just really represents the situation that these author is in, and I guess this is a use of a literary device, and it's really implying the situation that the author got into.